Hello, CME Nation, and we are only about a week away from Christmas. I am over my Scrooge stage, guys, from last week. I am ready to get festive today. I've even got some special eggnog for this episode, so let's get into it because it is time to enter Sandman Sports. With me, as always, is the jolly and jovial Mr. Pat Klatt. Pat has so much holiday spirit, his Christmas tree is jealous of how lit he gets. And then there's the Santa of Sandman Nation, Mr. Bill Sanders. Bill has given us all so much over the years, and thankfully none of it has required penicillin. Merry Christmas, gentlemen. It is almost time to get into the show, but before we do, let's tell our listeners where they can find us. You can find us all around, just like Pat lurking under the mistletoe at every holiday Christmas party. You can find us on Instagram at Enter Sandman Sports, our website, entersandmansports.com. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel at Enter Sandman Sports and follow us on Facebook at Enter Sandman Sports. All right, gents. Well, this past weekend was the Heisman ceremony. We're going to get into that in just a second. But before we do, we have somebody to wish a little belated happy birthday to. That's Mr. Bill Sanders. Bill celebrated his 34th birthday yesterday, I think, right?
Yeah. Plus or minus Dave Craig, number 17.
I love that we're bringing in Dave Craig into the birthday celebration.
He's the best.
That's awesome.
He's the best.
Well, I hope you had a good one, buddy.
Thanks, man. It was good. Chilled with the fam. It was fun.
That's awesome. All right. Well, as I mentioned, the Heisman ceremony was this past weekend. Want to congratulate Travis Hunter for winning this year's award in the tightest race since 2009. He narrowly edged out running back Ashton Jeanty by 214 points. In 2009, Mark Ingram of Alabama edged out Toby Gerhart of Stanford by 28 points. Hunter becomes only the second player from Colorado to win the award and the first since running back Rashawn Salam back in 1994. Hunter also becomes the first two-way player to win since Charles Woodson of Michigan in 1997. We may all have some opinions on whether or not he should have won it or it should have been Jeanty this year, but I did think it would be nice to briefly look back at the history of the Heisman Trophy and pay it its due. The Heisman Trophy has been awarded annually since 1935 to quote the most valuable college football player in the nation. The first recipient was running back Jay Berwanger from the University of Chicago. The award was created by the Downtown Athletic Club in New York City and was named for John Heisman, who was the club's athletic director before his death in 1936 and was a longtime college football coach, notably at Georgia Tech. The voting process and who actually gets to vote for this trophy. So, first and foremost, Heisman.com states that sports journalists are to be the determinants of the award since they are, quote, informed, competent, and impartial. So the majority of the voters do come from sports journalism. There are 870 media voters, 145 voters from each of 6 geographic regions across the country. Previous Heisman winners also get a vote, and there's usually somewhere between 55 to 60 of those. And then fans also get a chance to vote via Nissan and ESPN's fan survey, and the composite equals 1 Heisman vote. All right, so the USC has the most Heisman winners with 8, followed by Ohio State, Oklahoma, and Notre Dame with 7 each. The only 2-time winner is running back Archie Griffin of Ohio State back in the 70s. The closest margin of victory was the aforementioned 2009 race with Mark Ingram edging out Toby Gerhart. The award is primarily given to running backs or quarterbacks, with each of those positions winning each around 40 times. Only 3 wide receivers have ever won the award, 4 if you count Travis Hunter in that position, but the other 3 who primarily played only wide receiver were Tim Brown of Notre Dame back in 1987, Desmond Howard of Michigan in 1991, and Devontae Smith of Alabama just a few years ago in 2020. Only 2 tight ends have ever won the award, and that was back in 1936 and 1949. The highest finish for a player exclusively on the defensive side of the ball is second place, and it has happened 3 times. 1980 with Pittsburgh defensive end Hugh Green, 2012 with Notre Dame linebacker Monte Teo, and 2021 with Michigan defensive end Aiden Hutchinson. Most winners have been seniors, but there have been exceptions. No true freshman has ever won the award, but 2 redshirt freshmen won it in back-to-back years, actually. Johnny Manziel in 2012, and Pat's favorite, Jameis Winston in 2013. The oldest winner was quarterback Chris Wenke of Florida State in 2000 at the age of 28, and the youngest was quarterback Lamar Jackson of Louisville in 2016. He was 19 years, 338 days old, just 4 days younger than when Jameis won it a few years prior to that. All right, enough about the history of this very cool and prestigious award, but here's my questions for you two. One, do you guys care about the Heisman? Do you watch the ceremony? Does it carry the same weight in your eyes as maybe it once did? And then 2, who are some past Heisman Trophy winners or moments that jump out at you? It can be people who won, but you feel like maybe shouldn't have, or guys that won that you absolutely loved, guys that you think should have won but got slighted. So let's just talk about whether or not you even care about the Heisman and maybe some memories around some past Heisman moments. So, Pat, why don't you start us off, buddy?
So I started paying attention early 90s, maybe around Desmond Howard. I would say I rarely catch the ceremony live, but some of my favorites would be like Charles Woodson, Ricky Williams, Ron Dane, Chris Wenke out of my high school.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, I actually knew his younger sister a little bit, and she's not ugly.
Is he older than you, or is he about?
Yeah, he's older. He's about
okay,
7 years older than me, 6, 7 years older.
Okay. Okay. Oh, so that's cool.
Yeah. Yep. But his sister was a year younger than me. And then we had I like the Carson Palmer, Leinart and Bush. Johnny Football was a fun one. Baker Mayfield, I like seeing him win that. And I like the TV commercial with the Heisman House that they do every year.
I do love those commercials.
Is that Nissan?
That's Nissan.
Nissan,
That's
yeah.
Nissan. Yeah.
But do I think it's any relevance or any importance? I don't know. I think it's just kind of it's a nice end of the year award. And it's, I think it's kind of cool. But the biggest runner up that I think should have won was Randy Moss. And shout out to Randy Moss. And I don't know if you guys heard, he's got the cancer, and
yeah. Love.
It sucks, but
love to him, man.
Yeah, that was the year though. Wasn't that the year with, was it Moss, Peyton Manning? Who was in that year?
Was that Woodson beat out Manning?
I feel like that was a big year though, the Moss year. I don't remember who he lost to.
No, I don't remember.
I'd have to do my research. But yeah, I like it. I mean, it's not as cool as like other awards like the end of the year yearbooks, where you got like most likely to succeed, cutest couple. I mean, those are cooler awards, but otherwise, yeah, it's all right.
All right, cool. I like that. What about you, Bill?
Yeah, I would say I really don't overall have a ton of interest in it. I mean, I always respect the players. I mean, they're amazing kids, athletes, etc. But last year I did have some interest because of Michael Penix Jr. for the Huskies, and he didn't. Jaden Daniels, everyone knew Jaden Daniels was going to win, so no one was really sweating it, but that was pretty neat to see him. Anyway, I did, Bierman, though, want to say that 2 quick things. One, I don't remember, it's recency bias, I'm sure, but I felt like Ashton Jeanty was robbed this year. Look, Travis Hunter is a great player. No, he's going to be a great pro. I think he's a great player. I thought his speech, I saw some bits of the speech, I thought that was really cool. But Jeanty, I just felt like, I know Bierman's predicted that he's not going to break Barry's record, but he still has a chance to set the all-time record for a running back, and I just thought he deserved it this year. The second thing I was going to ask you guys about is, why is it that the Heisman is voted on before the season is finished? It just always feels like there's still games to be played. I mean, last year, Penix had a couple more chances to, pad his stats, and why shouldn't that factor in to the voting? So that seems like an odd thing, and I didn't know if you guys maybe thought that as well. But Genty robbed. That was my number one takeaway this year.
Yeah, I think that's weird too that they do it before the season's actually over. And I did
do too.
I did the research. It was Charles Woodson, Randy Moss, Peyton Manning, and Ryan Leaf.
Wow,
that's
what
incredible. Did Moss come in second in the voting, or did Manning come in second? But he was in that. I think Manning came in second, but that was wow. That was
97.
Unreal.
That's awesome. I agree, Bill, that it would be nice if they waited till the full season was over. Get each player's full resume. I think the answer is probably TV dollars. As I said at the beginning, they have the whole day basically to themselves. There's not a lot going on. Army Navy. There's really just not there. I think there was one bowl game this year, and those might start to creep in more. But that, to me, I think is why they do it. It isolates it. It gets a lot of eyeballs to it. Yeah. So for me, a couple jump out. I'll go Homer for a minute and say Desmond Howard was sweet, especially because of his iconic pose in the game against Ohio State that year after scoring a touchdown. You mentioned, Pat, Charles Woodson winning in 97, which I remember at the time I was shocked. And that's why I thought Peyton Manning came in second there. We'll get our CRO on that to find out
Manning's
exactly
second. I don't know the third and fourth. It was probably Randy Moss, then Ryan Leaf.
Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah. But that one always stuck out. I actually just heard, I think there's a 30-30 on that year's Heisman race. I just heard that today. Yeah, the 1997 Heisman race. And now I can understand why, especially if Moss was in that too, along with, Ryan Leaf, you can say what you will, but he was incredible quarterback that year too. So some of my all-time favorites go back to the 80s when I remember just incredible running backs. We've talked about Barry Sanders on this cast a ton, but Herschel Walker, Bo Jackson. Those are some of the all-time most dominant running backs, and they all did fairly well in the pros. And then for the most overrated, worst Heisman winners, it has to be Jason White of Oklahoma in 2003. I'm not even sure his mom realizes that he won the award. If you polled all college football fans and asked them who won the Heisman in 03, I'm not kidding. I would bet good money that less than 0.5% could tell you that it was Jason White. I
don't even know who that is.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Wow.
The guy went undrafted. He was a quarterback for Oklahoma. Okay. He went undrafted. He really didn't even have that great of stats. I don't remember him being like this incredible quarterback. Yeah, Jason White, I think, is probably the most overrated Heisman winner ever.
Yeah, there's a few on the list. It's about every 4 or 5 years where you're like, they didn't even play in the pros.
Yeah. And as much as I did love Nebraska, especially back in the heyday, but Eric Crouch is another one that was a little bit of a questionable Heisman winner, I think. So, all right, boys. Well, that was a nice homage to a great trophy, and again, congratulations to Travis Hunter for winning this year. All right, well, let's get into the show, and as usual, we are jam-packed. We will start with the headlines from the past weekend, then our hot takes and reflections. Then it is on to our Stone Cold Locks, where Bill had a little step back this week, but all of us are still lining those pockets for our listeners. We have another fun top 5. This one will be food related. We will have lots of fun and shenanigans along the way as well. And we will take a deeper look into some of Pat's questionable life choices, like the time he tested if you could really fry an egg on a hot sidewalk barefoot. All right, let's dive in to the major headlines from the past weekend. This will be a slightly shorter version, mainly because there wasn't a ton on the college football front as we are getting ready for bowl season start. But in the 2 games on Saturday, in one of the greatest rivalries ever, the Navy midshipmen surprise as 7-point underdogs and whip the Army Black Knights 31-13 in a pretty good shellacking. And in the first bowl game of the season, the South Alabama Jaguars beat Western Michigan from the MAC 30-23. In the NFL, the LA Rams beat divisional rival San Francisco 49ers in a Thursday night snooze fest, winning 12-6 and boosting their record to 8-6 for the season. They now sit atop the NFC West along with Bills' Seattle Seahawks after Seattle lost to the Green Bay Packers on Sunday night, 30-13, where Jordan Love and company looked very, very good. The Packers are now 10-4, and it is very possible 3 teams from the NFC North will make the playoffs. Pat's Vikings have already clinched and sit at 12-2 after their Monday night crushing of the god-awful Chicago Bears. The Vikings are now tied with the Detroit Lions, who have also clinched a playoff spot, but fell to the Buffalo Bills in the game of the week. The Bills dominated this game from beginning to end, despite a relatively close final score of 48-42. In this game, Lions quarterback Jared Goff becomes the first quarterback in NFL history to lose a game after having 400 or more passing yards, 5 or more passing touchdowns, and 0 interceptions, and he lost the game. Just crazy.
And he won a game earlier in the year. He won a game earlier in the year with 5 interceptions. Didn't he?
Did he really?
Yeah. He won that game.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that is.
He
funny.
did get me a nailed it point, so I appreciate.
He did get you a nailed it point. Yes,
yeah,
he did.
Thank you. It's the only thing I got right all weekend.
My Cincinnati Bengals travel to Tennessee and keep their very faint playoff hopes alive. And one of the ugliest games ever. Listen to this, boys. The teams combined for 10 turnovers, which is
Crazy.
most in the NFL since 2007. They also combined for 26 penalties, which is the most this season in the NFL. The Bengals have now won back-to-back games. They sit at 6-8, and this was their 5th road win. They're 6-8, and this was their 5th road win, which means they have won only one game at home all season so far, and I'm a season ticket holder, so that's been fun for me. All right, the Chiefs win in Cleveland 21-7, but quarterback Pat Mahomes gets injured and is currently week to week, so we'll see if he can get back on the field this week or when he can. In another big-time game on Sunday, the Philadelphia Eagles handle in-state rival Pittsburgh in relatively easy fashion, 27-13. The Eagles have now won 10 in a row, which is a franchise record. And boy, they look good, and they look poised for a deep playoff run. All right, boys. Well, there was a lot less stuff to react to than normal, but still a ton of exciting things going on in the world of sports. So let's get into our hot takes. Yes, that's right. It is time for Sandman Sports Hot Takes, brought to you by Mike's Hot Honey. The freaking best honey, because let's face it, regular honey is for amateurs. And there is still time to buy some as that perfect stocking stuffer. So get to mikeshothoney.com or visit the honey aisle at your local grocery store. All right, Pat, start us off with your hot takes from the past weekend.
I had some Mike's Hot Honey on my pizza today. It was fantastic.
Oh man, I still have yet to do it on my pizza. I gotta do that.
Yeah. Well, my weekend reactions. Let's start with I was at a 7-year-old nephew's birthday party at a water park, indoor water park. And if you like bathing in a community bath with a bunch of people, like the hot tub was so packed and it was just kind of gross. But we could do a whole episode just on indoor water parks.
Is it a Great Wolf? Do you guys have Great Wolf?
It was not the Great Wolf this time. We mix it up. We went to the Wilderness in Wisconsin Dells. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's quite the scene. Let me tell you, love it. But yeah, so that was my Saturday. I did catch a little bit of the game, but man, that Navy, that was a shocker. The AFC is looking more and more like the Bills are going to come through, and of course, when the 2 top scoring offenses get together, I choose the under as my lock of the week. And they almost put up 100. So that was my one blemish. You should have listened
to the St. Louis Syndicate.
That was a little bit of a heat check. You know, I was trying to get too cute with that, but yeah. And then watch my Bears and Vikes game. The Bears D is not terrible. They're actually okay. It's just they can't get anything going on offense. Williams was just couldn't throw the ball. He's so inaccurate. It's I don't know. I'm a little worried for them in that number 1 pick. But and the Vikes aren't, they're doing good, but I don't have full confidence in them. We do a lot of dumb penalties. We're not running the ball super strong, so we get behind the chains and a lot of third and long. But we came up with a lot of third and long first down, so that was good. But yeah, I think 2 weeks in a row where I haven't watched a ton of football, and that's since that Thanksgiving where I watched more football than I ever have in my life. But that is going to change starting this week and going into the holiday season. So that's awesome. And there's a Wednesday game on Christmas, so that's perfect.
Yeah.
Which is
I was shocked to see that.
Yep.
Well, so I got a few. I'll just ramble through them real quick. My first one, Jonathan Taylor. I don't know if you guys were watching any of the Indianapolis-Denver game.
Yeah.
But he is going in for a huge score. I believe it was to put him up 20-3 or so, I think, if I remember right. Drops the ball at the 1-inch line. And my question for you guys is, what is the appropriate punishment for players that keep doing this? This is a professional athlete. It keeps happening. It happens far more than it should. And my question, what is so cool about dropping the ball the moment you cross over the goal line? It makes no sense.
It's like a mic drop.
Yeah, mic drop. But why? Why? It just doesn't. It just chaps me every single time. Why is this a thing? How can it be stopped?
If you were cool,
bonkers.
You'd understand. You'd get it.
Yeah, I'm definitely not cool.
Yep.
I know that, but yeah. So that was my first thing. Buffalo looks legit. Pat mentioned this as well. My question for you guys, kind of just open-ended here. MVP, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. I mean, Lamar Jackson had more touchdowns than interceptions this week. I mean, the dude is just crazy. And Josh Allen, that guy is just a machine. Really fun to watch those two guys in their prime. It's super fun. Dan Campbell kicks the onside kick after they get back within 10, 38-28. There was like 11 minutes left in the game. I mean, what are you doing? The guy's an idiot. He did come out afterwards, I don't know if you guys saw, and say that he was an idiot. Like, I shouldn't have done that. In hindsight, I shouldn't have done that.
But their defense isn't proven that they can stop them, so why not try it? You got nothing to lose.
At some point, is it like pulling the goalie in hockey when you're down 3 goals? Like, I mean, what? So you're just going to go down 4 goals? I mean, I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And I love Dan Campbell and I love how aggressive he is, but this just felt reckless. And I just thought of myself, if I put myself in a Detroit fan's shoes, they had to be going, what are we doing here? This is crazy. So I don't know. Why not just onside kick every single time then? I mean, never punt. Go for it on 4th down. Anyway, that was crazy. Anyway, last thing, the timing of the transfer portal is so dumb.
Mm-hmm.
I hate it. I love college football too much. This is absolutely torching the game that all of us love. And you've got Penn State's backup quarterback. Like, I had no choice. I can't go play in the bowl or in the college football playoff because I have to jump ship to go line up my next opportunity. And it sucks so bad for the kids, for the programs,
Who did
for
this?
all the fans.
It's the back. I forget his name.
The
backup quarterback for
Pribula,
Penn State. John or Tribula or something like that. But yeah, they were actually talking about it on ESPN this morning. They were actually talking about ESPN radio this morning, and then James Franklin basically ranted about it just sucks for this kid. And
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, they need to just change the timing of the portal. I don't get it.
So many smart people in this world and so many sports fans, and we can't figure out the most basic thing around a window of time to make this happen. Heisman voting too, and I get it. Probably money, but
maybe they should move the Heisman and the portal to freaking February.
Gosh,
yeah, there's games.
Brutal.
There's a lot of bowl games already affected by I was heard that there's one game where one team
bailed.
has 13 players who are gone, and they're key players.
Marshall bailed out of their game, so Louisiana Tech had to step in and replace him. That was Eric's pick.
That was crazy.
To beat Army.
Yeah,
and then Washington State They lost their offensive coordinator. They lost some other quarterbacks guru coach guy to Oklahoma. And then their best player, their quarterback, John Mateer, decides, well, I'm going to enter the transfer portal and go to Oklahoma. Well, Washington State has 20 players not playing in their bowl game against Syracuse. They're going to get smoked. They're going to get absolutely smoked.
Yeah.
Guys, it's just, I'm going to get off my soapbox, but
I told you, I said the
so
same
bad.
thing last week about the bowl season. It's turning into NIT. It's just unwatchable.
I know. And I told Bierman and I were talking about this with Sandman Pools. You got all these people fired up and they didn't even want to play in the bowl pick'em anymore because how do you predict bowls when you don't even know who's going to be freaking playing in the game? It sucks. Anyway, Bierman, please.
Yeah.
Give us your hot takes.
Well, those
buddy.
were great hot takes, both of you. So I'm not a big pie guy, but I know a lot of people at Thanksgiving, I saw a lot of people eating pumpkin pie. Well, it's time for me to eat some humble pie today, guys. It is time for me to man up, and I'm going to share some things that I've just been dead wrong on this season. All right. And you know who we're going to start with? We're going to start with Pat's Minnesota Vikings. Holy moly, this team just continues to roll. And as I mentioned in the headlines, they are now 12-2. They sit atop the NFC North. And they and the Lions have already clinched the playoff spot. This team just keeps dominating behind Sam Darnold, Aaron Jones, Justin Jefferson. Sneakily good defense as well. They're currently averaging 26.4 points per game, which is 9th in the league. They average 351 yards per game, which is 11th. Darnold has passed for 240 yards per game, good for 8th best in the NFL. And that defense has only allowed 18 points per game, which is 4th best in the league. So I am starting to become a believer. And what do they say, Pat? Skol Vikes? Is that what I need to say? Skol Vikings. All right. So let's keep it going,
Skol
Vikings.
wintergreen.
Great season so far. And
Skol cherry.
Congrats. School. Sticking in the NFL, and I could easily say the Chiefs, but I'm not that hungry for humble pie today. So we're going to skip that annoying team, but we are going to stay in the AFC West, and it is time for me to give some love to the Denver Broncos. I have doubted this team all season long. They have a 9-5 record and are positioning themselves for their first playoff appearance since 2015. Wow. So what are some reasons why? Well, first and foremost, their defense, especially their rushing defense, where they're giving up less than 100 yards per game on the ground when they allow only 3.8 yards per carry. Big kudos to their defensive coordinator, Vance Joseph, doing a great job there. Another reason, well, is it any surprise? It's because the Oregon Ducks are unstoppable. Isn't that right, Bill? Yes, Mr. Bo Nix from the University of Oregon is playing exceptionally well for a rookie quarterback. His stats aren't particularly great, as he's 16th in passing yards and 25th in QB rating, and he has thrown 11 interceptions. But he has gotten much better and more comfortably after a rocky start, and he's starting to run the ball a lot more, which I think is helping him get comfortable in the games as well. He reminds me of a much more talented Brock Purdy, who is just leading his team, not making a ton of mistakes, doing the right things. Players are believing and following him, and I just think this guy is only going to continue to get better. So nice job, Mr. Nix. And finally, I got to give Coach Sean Payton some love. Never been a huge fan of his, but he has changed the mentality of this locker room. They're more physical, better prepared. They believe they can win any game, as evidenced by them possibly making the playoffs for the first time in 9 years. So great job, Coach. Now, for my Bengals to make the playoffs, I need them to win out, and I need the Broncos to lose out, which is possible since they play each other, and the Broncos also have to play the Chargers and the Chiefs. So it's possible. You're saying there's a chance, but it is still unlikely. And either way, it's been a great year for the Broncos. So nice job up there in the Mile High City, guys. Congratulations.
Thursday's a huge game. That Thursday game's big. That
Yeah.
Broncos.
Chargers?
Yeah, Broncos. Oh, that's huge. Yeah. That's huge. I mean, for the Bengals, the Chargers have to win that game for them to have a chance. And then finally, I'll keep this one short because I'm about to pick against them in Stone Cold Locks. But I do need to go to the college game and briefly give the Notre Dame Fighting Irish some love. I have been up and down on this team all season, but honestly, Marcus Freeman has done a great job and really has earned his recent contract extension. Riley Leonard, despite a rocky start, has been a very dependable, reliable leader. I thought after that loss to Northern Illinois in September, this team was headed for disaster. I also predicted at the beginning of the year that they would hit the under in the 10.5 wins. I was wrong on both. Great job. Congratulations, Irish, on a great season so far. But now Coach Sig is heading to town, and that could mean trouble in South Bend. So I think that's a perfect segue to get into our Stone Cold Locks, where we just keep making money for our listeners, especially the incredible Pat Klett. Pat went 2-1 again, and his record is now an astonishing 32-15-1. Just wow. Pat, please tell us that you finally bet on your picks this week in the pools.
I did, but I did that stupid under in the Buffalo game. I don't know why. I tried to parlay it in the Ben Harper.
You hit your big one though.
Yeah,
you needed that.
Yeah, but that's,
Vikes.
I know. I'm treading.
You didn't
water.
have faith though on the spread. You just took a money line. You were scared of the Bears.
I'm a chicken. I'm not going to chicken out this week though, Bill.
No, don't
do it.
I'm going all in.
I love it. I went 1-1 with my Wednesday bowl game still pending. So we got one more on the docket to come for me, but I'm now at 26-20-1. And Bill had a tough week. He went 0-3, but still has a winning record for the season at 25-22-1. So, all right, Pat. Well, why don't you lead us off, sir, for this week's Stone Cold Locks?
Oh, let's see.
Do it.
All right. I know we're not gonna have a 9-0 week because I know Eric's gonna go with Indiana, but I am going. Last time I went against Notre Dame, my ancestors cursed me for at least a week. So
yeah, that's true.
It is time for me to eat some potatoes, drink some Guinness, and watch the Irish roll this weekend. They're gonna crush Indiana. Sorry, man. The dream is over.
We may have to do a little side bet here, Pat.
Yeah. Oh, smell a side bet for the homeland.
What do you want? You name it.
I have to eat 6 pounds of potatoes if you win.
There you go. Yep. No, a potato with no toppings. Just straight up potato.
Just like an apple?
Yeah.
Can he at least wash it down with a Guinness?
No butter.
Or something?
No salt, just potato.
Wow.
Yep. Like we had to do in the potato famine.
Is it cooked?
If he wants to cook it, he can cook it, but no salt, no butter, nothing. You got to eat it. So what do I have to do? What do I have to do if Indiana wins?
Oh God.
Oh boy, yeah. What do we got here? Skyline chili.
You have to shoot baskets for 2.5 hours nonstop.
Like Jimmy Chitwood. Yeah. Okay. I will shoot baskets for an hour straight. All right.
Oh God. All right. Now I'm nervous. All right, let's do it. That will make for compelling television.
Just to be clear, is this with spread? The bet?
I mean, yeah, the points are involved, right?
Yeah, I think it's this is Stone Cold Lock. So this one's with the spread.
Okay. Just
so
be clear.
What spread are you using?
What spread is?
I have 7.5 is what I'm using.
Sounds good to me. I didn't look at the spreads today. I just kind of picked a few games.
All right, let's do it.
All
right. I like this little added something here in Stone Cold Locks.
Yeah.
Heerman, by the way, that's brave to be going against Pat this year. Because the dude has been on fire.
I know.
I was 8-2 in the Legends picks too. I mean,
you were.
I worked in the Legends
creeping up on who's the guy in first? He's in
Ken Wintermode. Ken Wintermode is
Kenny Wintermode.
He's in winter mode.
Beast mode and winter mode.
My favorite thing, thing about the pools is just picking guys at random that I have my eye on and making fun of them. like we did
with Lando and Rod.
Never met the
Oh,
guys,
man.
but they
Shout
became my
out. They're
enemies.
great dudes.
They
Great
sound
dudes.
like good dudes, and they're creeping back in Ben Harper too.
I know. Yeah, they've been getting hot.
I think we're gonna find out if they listen to this podcast too, because maybe they'll email us.
That would be great. Yeah, I'll give them a heads up.
Lando and Rod.
So if you guys will allow this week, I want to put my one pick in 3 times, and it's the Vikings -3 against the Seahawks. Okay, this game should be. This line is ridiculous. The Vikings are going to destroy the Seahawks. Geno Smith, knee injury, may play, but he's going to be limited. Our offensive line is atrocious. He can't move. He's going to just sit. I mean, the Vikings might have 10 sacks. I mean, this is just going to be absolutely ridiculous. So I was going to call it a 2-pat. Sam Howell, he came in and he was just god-awful in his backup duty. And yeah, this game's just going to be out of hand early. So I thought it was going to be a 2-pat, but then Pat didn't pick it. So give me the Vikes -3, and I'm making this my lock of the millennium.
Ooh,
and
wow.
I will wear Oregon Ducks gear next week if this does not hit.
Oh my!
And
goodness.
eat a potato.
You heard it. This is breaking news, Sandman Nation and all podcast listeners.
Yeah. Vikings tease
all
it up.
right.
Tease
right.
that thing through the roof the other direction. They are. This game's just going to be atrocious. I hate this team. I hate the Seahawks. I hate them. And you know what's worse about the Seahawks losing is that I picked the Seahawks in my Stone Cold Locks. So not only did I miss out on the Stone Cold Locks, I sucked in the Legends picks. I felt like Bierman last week. It is horrible when you just can't. Bierman, give us your first Stone.
All right. Well, this is not going to be a surprise to anybody. In last week's podcast, my number 3 bold bowl prediction was that Indiana would upset Notre Dame. So yeah, I'm definitely going to take the 7.5 points in this game. Yes, it is true. Indiana has not faced the toughest schedule in the nation, but their only loss came on the road against another CFP team in Ohio State. This is still a team that went 11-1 in the Big Ten. I mentioned some of this last week, but statistically, these teams are nearly mirror images of each other. Both teams ranked number 2 and 3 nationally in offense, each average around 40 points and 420 yards per game. Indiana boasts the number 3 defense in the nation, allowing just 256 yards per game, while Notre Dame's defense ranks number 10. They're also very good, but they give up more than 40 yards more at 296 yards per game. Both teams are excellent at protecting the ball, and both teams minimize penalties. This game is going to be much closer than the line implies. Coach Sig knows how to win, and if you don't believe me, just Google him. Hoosiers plus 7.5, and I am calling for the outright win. Book it.
That would be a huge upset.
Hope you like potatoes, Eric.
Hope you like potatoes.
Well, my grandmother lived to 96, and we asked her
potatoes?
secret. She ate a potato a day.
Well, there you go. Well, you might be doing me a favor. I might get hooked on them.
Yeah, well, that's good for you. My second one is I'm gonna go with Chiefs. They're actually they're getting 2.5 points against Houston. Houston, they look, they're having a decent year, but I just don't believe in them. They're not really explosive on offense, and I feel like the Chiefs, you can't give them points. They can't be dogs. And I know it's part of it is the Pat Mahomes is injured. He's fine. He does it for show. You know how he does this, like, oh, I'm hurt, and then he'll come just so he can come out and be like, throw 3 touchdowns, and Chris Collinsworth can drool over him. Oh, this guy's amazing. He's so great.
Willis Reed. Yeah. He'll be running out of the locker room, limping.
He'll be limping on his right leg, and then he'll switch over to his left, and he'll be like, "Which one is it again?" He's a faker. It's in there. They're gonna win.
I think I'm just saying this because I think we might need a ruling just to be legit here, but I believe that the Chiefs are now favored by 2.5 points.
Did it
Because
flip all the way?
I think because Mahomes is supposed to play, but you should have maybe our CRO or somebody else double check me on that. The reason I know this though is because I set the line and run my pools database, and then when I went to look at Stone Cold Locks today, I noticed that it had flipped. So, Pat, your call. I did see.
I'll take either.
I mean, I figured you're confident either way, but
yeah,
maybe
whatever.
Bierman.
Eric should be the final say on this one.
Okay. Yep.
Dr. Bierman, what do you think?
Yeah, they are 2.5 point favorites. The Chiefs are.
Okay.
So,
still
we probably should go
still, I
Chiefs.
think
We should
still give it to me though, Chiefs. Even if they're
yeah,
giving 2.5.
you still take. Yeah, I do think we should
Yeah.
go -2.5. But yeah, okay.
Yeah. Sorry, Pat.
They're gonna be.
I also need a ruling on my second Stone Cold Lock because I would like to put a 2-pat down on James Madison, who Eric picked last week.
Gotcha.
But I don't know if that's legit. Is that legit?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's legit.
So,
it's legit. Yeah.
They play. We record this on a Tuesday. They play tomorrow on a Wednesday. So I figured it might be okay. So I'm going to get in on a 2-pat, and I just feel like this is a 10+ point win for them down in Boca Raton. Raton? How do you say that?
Raton.
Boca Raton. Raton.
Yeah, something like that.
Boca Raton. So it just I'm looking at Western Kentucky. They're in a tailspin.
Yeah.
They really had a bad end to their year, and I just feel like James Madison puts it on them for all the reasons Bierman outlined last week too. So that's my second one.
You got 7.5 on that. That's what I'm showing,
Yeah.
and I think that's what I don't think the lines even move. So
that's what I saw. Yep. Thanks.
That's awesome. No, good. All right. So we're going to the shoe for my second one. I'm taking another underdog here in the CFP. I'm going to take Tennessee. I am really looking forward, though, to this game and just seeing, honestly, how the Buckeyes bounce back from their loss against Michigan. This is still an incredibly talented team, featuring the nation's #1 defense in yards allowed, and they do have a potent offense. However, I am a little concerned about quarterback Will Howard. He just looked uncomfortable against Michigan, and the play calling, as we talked about a couple episodes ago, was just dreadful. On the other side, Tennessee is 11-2 with a loss to Georgia and a surprising clunker for some reason against Arkansas. But they've had a very good season. Their offense comes and goes in spurts, which is a little concerning. But they do still average more than 440 yards per game, so they can certainly make some noise. I think the key here is going to be how well Vols quarterback Nico Iamaleava plays. Will he play poised and confident and not make many mistakes? If so, I love the Vols' chances here. I do have a little bit of doubt here with an SEC team traveling north and playing in the cold, but 7 points is a lot of points for a team that I think is every bit as good as Ohio State. So I'm back in the Vols plus the 7 here. Go orange and white. All right, Pat, finish us off.
I got the Ravens rolling over the Steelers. You can tell me what the line is now. I think it's 6.5.
Yeah.
So TJ Watt got hurt last week, so I don't even know if TJ Watt's going to be 100%. Ravens looks awesome. Granted, it's against the Giants, but they've been having a good year, and they got all the pieces. And if Pittsburgh doesn't have Watt, it's and it's going to be a tough one. And I know it's a divisional game, but I just think that Pittsburgh might falter a little bit down the road here and into the playoffs. I know they're in the playoffs, but I think they're not going to finish the season strong. Ravens, however, they're looking sharp. So give me the Ravens.
Well, those are some great picks, Pat. I think you are guaranteed 2-1 this week. So good job.
Oh, I love it. Okay, I need your guys' help. I need A or B. A or B.
B for Bierman.
Okay, that's number 4, which is the Lions -6.5 at Chicago. So I just look for Detroit to bounce back. I mean, I just don't see any reason why they wouldn't against, an atrocious Bears team. And Pat, I think, was highlighting that earlier as well. Just Caleb Williams, I don't know if you guys heard Troy Aikman was saying that he looked defeated. Like he just got, I mean, he is getting
Tired.
killed behind that offensive line. Feels like a get-right game for the Lions. I just don't think the Bears are any good. And I just think that, you're just not going to stop the Bears or the Lions offense. So even though their defense may be a little susceptible, as Pat was saying earlier, against that anemic Chicago offense, I don't think it's going to be hard for them to cover 7. So Detroit -6.5.
Hey, Bill, repeat after
Yes.
me. 2 Pat. Let's do
2
it,
Pat.
baby.
Yeah,
Lions
let's go.
-6.5 is my third stone.
We've been good on our 2
cold
Pats.
lock. We have. So normally, the Lions, that was such a weird game. They got manhandled by the Bills on Sunday. They also lost one of their stud running backs in David Montgomery for the season with an injury. Detroit is still one of the NFL's elite teams. They have the number 1 scoring offense, top 10 defense. The Bears have dropped 8 straight games. This is a very, very bad team. And honestly, they've gotten worse since they fired their coach after the Thanksgiving game. Their offense and defense are...
That was the game against Detroit.
That's right. It was their downfall. So I have no idea how this team will keep this game competitive. This was one of those where I'm like, are you kidding me? 6.5 or 7 points. Oh my gosh. So Lions are going to be hungry. They're going to be angry after the Bills loss. I think they absolutely pound the Bears. So we will gladly give the 7 points on the road.
Let's go.
Let's do it. All right. So, boys, we normally stop here with our Stone Cold Locks, but real quick, before we move on to our top 5, I just want to briefly hear your thoughts on the 4 CFP first-round games this weekend. We don't need to go into a ton of analysis. Just kind of want to hear who you guys are thinking. On Friday, we have Indiana and Notre Dame. Then on Saturday, we have the 3 games, SMU at Penn State, Clemson at Texas, and Tennessee at Ohio State. So who do you have winning and advancing in each of those matchups? Let's start with Indiana-Notre Dame game. We already know where I stand there as I'm picking the Hoosiers to win. I think Pat, we already know why, or he's got Notre Dame and we know why. What about you, Bill?
Irish.
You like the Irish? Okay.
Yeah, I mean the spread I don't know. Not strong on either side, I guess, but I just feel like, and I'm gonna kind of give away my next few picks, but I feel very chalky in this first round. So I don't know. I'm going Irish.
All right. All right. What
Penn
about
State,
SMU at Penn State? Who do you got there, Pat?
I got SMU.
Okay.
Don't ask me why. I just feel like everyone seems to be picking Penn State, and Penn State's the darling, and think they're going to do well. But I think I just see a team like SMU coming in and running it up, being maybe a little fast, a little too fast for them, and sneak up on them. So
I like their QB he's impressive.
Yeah, Kevin Jennings. Yeah,
Jennings. I couldn't think of his name. Yeah, I just the Penn State game against the Huskies, and then watching Penn State in the Big Ten Championship, and just they have impressed me a ton after not giving them a ton of credit. Drew Aller, I think, is legit. I love that. Is it Tyler Warren? They're the tight end who's so good. Tyler Warren.
Tyler Warren.
Yeah. And I mean, man, that kid looks like an amazing college football player. Who knows how good of a pro he'll be, but yeah, I just don't see Penn State dropping this game, especially after SMU, took everything they had to stay with Clemson, who I just don't put on the same level as Penn State. So,
I'm with you, Bill.
Penn State.
No, I think SMU keeps it close for a half, but I picked Penn State to win the whole thing last week as one of my bold predictions, so I think they will win relatively easily in Happy Valley. In fact, they're the only favorite of these 4 games that I think will cover. Not necessarily the only one that will win, but Penn State's the only one that I think will cover. So, all right, let's go down to Austin for Texas and Clemson. Pat, who do you got there?
I got Texas, but I think Clemson. I think this is a good spot for Dabo. He's got no pressure, no expectations. So I worry. I think Clemson can put up a pretty good fight against him, and it's Clemson.
Okay.
They got 5-star players all over the place, so
I'm rooting for some upsets, but I'm with you, Pat. I don't see Clemson winning this game, but I still just don't feel like Quinn Ewers is that good. And Texas has been a bit of a enigma. I just can't seem to figure them out this year. So I got Texas to win the game, Eric, but
Yep.
I don't.
Yep.
It's a big spread. Big spread.
I'm with you both on that. I think Clemson keeps it close, but Texas wins the game. It is going to be interesting to me to see if they keep Quinn Ewers in or if Art sees the field for some significant playing time. So, but I think Texas wins it. And finally, Saturday night game at the Horseshoe, Tennessee at Ohio State. Pat, who wins that game?
I got Ohio State winning the whole thing. So give me Ohio State.
There you go.
Yeah, the
especially at
Ryan
the
Day
shoe
redemption tour, right? You said, last week.
He's fighting for his job.
I have a hard time seeing Ohio State with that defense and that firepower laying another egg at home in this big stage. I got Ohio State, Eric. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I think this one is going to come down to the wire, possibly even overtime. Honestly, I think this is going to be a really close game. And as much as I want Tennessee to win, and I do think they're going to cover, I do think the Buckeyes will prevail in the cold at home. All right, fellas. Well, let's now get into this week's top 5. And this is a great topic since I always gain 15 pounds around the holidays. And thinking about this topic made me hungry. But yes, we have a special guest today, guys. We're going to do something a little different. We have Mackenzie Bierman, our very own Sandman Sports Chief Research Officer, joining us today. Mackenzie,
that we were going to have a special guest.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Sandman Sports
swag.
Said
we had to keep it a secret.
Nice.
I did. I told her, I'm like, I'm going to
surprise.
Yeah. So, as you both know, and our listeners know, Mackenzie's one of our biggest fans. So happy to have her on here. When I told her this was our top 5, her eyes lit up as she loves her some yummy fast food restaurants. So she's going to join us on this week's countdown. So Mac, good to see you. Are you ready to get into our top 5?
Let's go for it.
All right. Let's do
wait.
it. All right. So,
are you guys trying to phase me out? Is this what's going on?
This is step 1.
Hey, the more Biermans we can get on this podcast, the better. Cooper, get the hell down here.
How about when all the feedback starts rolling in this week and just like, Mackenzie's got to be on this podcast. Everything's so great. Get rid of that flat dude.
I'm just going to make fake accounts.
Actually,
so it looks like I'm amazing. And it's really just me.
I don't need you guys anyhow.
Get this Sanders guy out of here. We don't need this guy in his 0-3 stone cold locks.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna do our top 5 fast food restaurants today. So Pat, as always, why don't you lead us off?
All
Number
right.
5 and 4.
Well,
We'll show Mac how it's done. All right?
I will. Yeah, definitely.
Mac, where are you at?
This is
Mac,
my wheelhouse.
where are you at?
My dining room.
She's about 12 feet
in the house with your dad.
Yeah, she's about 12 feet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Far enough that we won't get.
Are you going to be there when we come out? Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
How do you know that's where we're going?
It'd be great to meet you in person.
How do you know that's where we're going?
Right.
Come on, Pat.
Because we know, Pat, and you better bring that signed autograph picture for Mac too.
I wasn't talking about nailed it. I wasn't talking about nailed it. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Craig and I are flying out there in January to meet.
That's doing a little business meeting.
I'm busy. I can't make it. I'm busy, but that's cool.
We're talking about some significant personnel changes that we might need to make in the podcast.
There's so much pressure.
It's a little weird if we
who
invited
else is
you.
here? Me. I'm going to be part of that group.
Nice. Well,
that's right. That's right.
All right.
All right, Pat.
We'll make this one count.
Go for it.
Yeah, this might be my last.
Make your last top 5 memorable.
Look, it 'tis the season where you're driving down the road to Grandma and Grandpa's house, and you gotta eat, and there's only 3 or 4 choices off the exit ramp, and it's a lot of them are bad decisions. That's the problem with fast food. They taste so good going in, but then you get gut rot. My number 5 is something I didn't have until I was later in life, and I fell in love with, and that's White Castle sliders. The White Castle sliders, man, those are good, and they're really good for driving. A lot of the fast food, you have to drive and eat at the same time, so it's not like I'm going to eat with a knife and fork or something messy. These sliders are easy. You just grab them, 3 bites, and they're gone, and you regret it. But they're so warm.
Oh, yeah.
They're so warm, and the jalapeno cheese sliders are the best. Number 5, White Castle.
You started off
I
with
forget,
a bang, baby. Let's go to number 4.
This guest speaker is throwing me off. I don't know.
Sorry, Pat.
I thought we were just going to go around the horn.
She's definitely up-leveled this pod.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that.
For sure.
Yeah.
Number 4, Arby's. I like the selection of Arby's. You gotta, they got good gyros. They got the beef and cheddars, classic or solid. They have a good variety on their menu, and their sides, you can go with the jalapeno poppers with the Bronco berry sauce, or you can go, they got curly fries. You can do their mozzie sticks are pretty good with the marinara. They do a good job.
What sauce? What sauce did you say?
Bronco berry, I think it's called, or something like that. It's like a
Bronco berry.
Bill,
is it just me, or is this the most passionate you've ever heard Pat in a top 5? Like, his eyes are lighting up as he's talking about this food.
I kind of want him to keep
he's
going.
Getting very excited.
What's your 3? I just want you to keep rolling. You are crushing right now.
They do such a nice job at Arby's, and they have the meats. They do have the meats.
They have the meats.
All right, Bill. Good luck following that, buddy.
I know. I was actually going to ask Mac to go first so that I wouldn't have to follow that. But so my 5, I thought it was appropriate to put 5 Guys in my 5. And do you guys have 5 Guys?
That. Yeah, we do.
I have it in my top 5. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So I don't eat there very often, but man, oh man, seriously good burgers and fries. I mean, that place is ridiculous. And I'm going to have a common theme across all of my 5. The app experience is everything for me. I love ordering food with an app where I don't have to talk to anybody. I just walk in there and I pick up my bag, and then I'm out the door and go eat the thing somewhere. And at 5 Guys, phenomenal app experience, phenomenal food. Seriously, you can get a heart attack eating one time there. So I try to not eat there very often. I'm getting older. I'm getting a little older. So anyway, that's my number 5. My number 4, this is probably standard fare across the country, but Chick-fil-A. And I love a good spicy chicken sandwich, but what I also love about Chick-fil-A is that my whole family is just excited to go eat there, like if we're out on the road or something, because everybody
it's
chicken
easy.
nuggets. Marsh
everybody
loves the chicken salad that they make is delicious. I always find, I don't know if it's like this in your local Chick-fil-A's, but the service is awesome. I love how they're so kind and courteous to you. Again, app experience, phenomenal. You show up, drive through, boom, your food's ready, you're out the door. Anyway, Beerman's,
all right. So,
which one of you is
Mac,
going
you want to go
first?
first, or you want me to go? Your choice.
I'll go first.
All right, let's hear it.
All right, number 5, I have Taco Bell. Solely because I only eat there when I'm drunk, and it's really good when I'm drunk. Not even
So she
I
eats
thought
there
that was
about
Skyline.
So she eats there about 5 times a week. Just kidding.
I mean,
Just
maybe
kidding.
drinking, I don't know, but we don't need to make that soup. No,
I learned it from watching
I
you,
don't
Dad.
think I could eat it.
Exactly.
I don't think I could eat it during the day, like regularly at 11 a.m. But at like 2 a.m. it's really good. Oh, Pat, I also wanted to say you should be proud of me because I'm not like my father, and I didn't put like 6 of them on one number.
Yeah.
Only one number.
Yeah,
One
yeah.
food.
Thank you.
Selling me out.
Throw shade at your dad. I love
Do
it.
something,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
But 4 is okay. This place called Zaxby's, which I don't think, Dad, I don't even know if you know what it is, but it's like I feel like they're
We
only
don't
in the
have
South.
it. We don't have it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's like a chicken place or something, right?
Yeah, it's like really similar to Cane's if you've had Cane's.
Yeah.
But
in
they're
Vegas.
only down south. But it's so good. Like I might not even get it once a year, but whenever I have it, I'm like, oh my god, it's amazing. So Zaxby's.
I've heard good things.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Well, I have 4 different ones for my number 5. So if you guys can just settle
Part
in.
A, B,
No,
C.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. All right. I'm going to go with one that I think is polarizing across the nation. I'm going with a place that I probably only eat at this place once or twice a year. And it is usually during Lent when I can't eat meat on Fridays. This is Long John Silver's. I love this place, and I know some people love it and some people hate it. But you do gain 10 pounds, and your cholesterol jumps 50 points after one visit. But it is worth it to me. I love the fried fish planks, and I always have to get a side of their crumbs, which literally it's just like fried grease. Is honestly what it is, but it's really good. No, so I love that. And then my number 4 is Penn Station. I don't eat there often because I just don't think of it very often, but when I do, I absolutely love that place. To me, there's not much better than a good cheesesteak, and I think their fries are some of the best. So yeah, that's my number 4. Pat, what do you got for 3 and 2, buddy?
3 and 2 have already been mentioned, but I'm just going to piggyback on why they're so good. First of all, 3, Taco Bell. You got Doritos Locos Tacos are awesome. Their Taco Supremes are fantastic. They have these carriers where you can put the taco in the to-go thing and it doesn't spill out the bottom. So they're just brilliant.
Brilliant.
Minds
I've never
at
seen
Taco
Pat
Bell.
this animated on this podcast ever. We're going to talk about food every time.
I do like food.
Didn't Pat come up with this top 5? Like,
yes,
he has
of
to
course
be
he
animated
did.
about
Of course
it.
he did.
But
It
I
all
was not
makes sense
excited.
now.
Like, that's the thing. I was not excited, and then all of a sudden we got talking
the
about
research.
it, and I was like, well, and I wasn't excited when I wrote my answers down. I was like, I don't know. And now that I think about it, Taco Bell has been so good to me throughout the years. And
Pat, are you also
the
drunk when you eat Taco Bell?
No. It's,
okay.
It's
I thought
that's
you were
not-
just asking him if he was drunk.
No.
Are you drunk right now?
No.
Are you also drunk?
In fact, I won't.
Mackenzie is also our HR.
So
So
I'm not drunk.
she's
It's another reason
Bill,
to get rid of him.
chief people officer.
I was
Sorry, you're
just
out.
thinking about the top 5. Ooh, I was like Taco Bell a lot and stuff. No, as guys, I was in the zone talking about Taco Bell. Have you had their nacho cheese fries? Have you had the nacho cheese fries?
No, those look disgusting.
Awesome. They're kind of soggy. And
those are so gross. No way.
Bill,
come on.
They're so
those
good.
Can't be good.
It's anything orange is great. And the Doritos Locos tacos were great. I used to get the fiery Loco tacos, which were fiery nacho cheese Doritos. Their beef, like if you're on a budget, you can get the beef and cheese burrito for pretty cheap. They got these $5 boxes, now $7 boxes that are cheap. You know, look, I could go on and on.
It's the whole menu, Pat.
Why Taco Bell is so
thing.
good. I know. I've dabbled in a lot of the menu. And then Five Guys is fantastic because you get the peanuts when you come in. You can eat the peanuts while you're waiting, and their Cajun fries are phenomenal. Not a huge fan of the burger, but I will go there just for the Cajun fries and the peanuts. So
nice.
Good calls, guys.
Love that. I don't know if you guys have my number 3. It's called Potbelly.
Yeah.
You guys have a sandwich shop?
Mm-hmm.
You guys do have that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I always get the Wreck.
Yeah, the Wreck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm a big chicken club guy. I love with the avocado on there. Man, those are just delicious. They have delicious cookies too if you're just not worried about calories.
And shakes
with the little cookie that they put on top of the straw. Yeah.
Based on our
delicious.
first couple choices, do you think that any of us are worried about calories?
No. Well, look at me as well. It should be pretty obvious. Although I have lost 16 pounds.
Yes, dude, you have, and you look great.
Yes,
you look good.
I appreciate that. My second one, this one, gosh, when I was going through my list, I didn't even really think about it. And then all of a sudden it hit me. Starbucks. It's not even a Seattle thing. It's just, I don't drink coffee. So, but I really enjoy their food. Like their grilled cheese. Have you guys ever had a grilled cheese from Starbucks?
Their grilled cheese is amazing. It's like crack. It's so good.
Yeah.
You know what? I bet their grilled
Sydney,
cheese
my
is
daughter,
good with?
lives on those
Mike's
things.
Hot Honey.
Oh yeah,
Throw some Mike's Hot
on
Honey
the
on that grilled
Starbucks.
cheese. Yeah.
I'm
yeah.
gonna try that on the grilled cheese Starbucks. Oh my gosh, good call, Pat. But I love their breakfast too. They've got a great wrap. They do. I mean, even their like just basic sausage egg McMuffin, whatever that would be called at there. Yeah, it's good.
Calling
After Starbucks, I'm gonna throw it to our new podcast host, Mackenzie, for her 3 and 2.
Okay, when I say these next two, I thought of fast food as in the sense I've seen them have a drive-through at least in one area, and I could eat it in the car, not necessarily while driving, but while Eric drives. So number three, I had the same as Dad. I had Penn Station, such a good just sandwich place. I honestly
we didn't check. I had no idea that you
That
would have.
must be a
Penn Station.
regional. We don't have those.
Nice.
That must be a regional
Yeah,
Oh,
thing.
you don't?
Yeah,
Oh,
No.
well, when Dad wins nailed it, we'll go there.
Okay.
Yeah.
But their fries, honestly, they might be my
They're
favorite
good.
fries. I would have to think about
we'll
that
have to
more, but
go
they're
there.
good. They're really good.
Yeah.
And then two, I have put Chipotle. I had Chipotle today. We probably have Chipotle once a week in our
So good.
house. It's my roommates in college got the guac. Now I got guac, but with chips and guac, $5 plus my bowl plus freaking the economy. My food order is now $14, but it's so worth it every time.
I have some tips for you. I have some tips for you later. We can talk about to save money at Chipotle.
Hook up.
Yeah.
On Chipotle?
Mhm.
Oh,
Let's hear it.
Well, I'm
you just
definitely
get
gonna want to
you
hear
get
this.
you get the kids tacos, and they'll give
Okay.
you the kids meal tacos, and then you just have them put the fillings in the side of the little kids container thing, and you just make your own tacos.
Oh.
Yeah, it's the same.
There you go.
It's like $5 instead of $12. Like
They're like
So,
this.
but what
This
happens when I
fucking
like
guy.
the bowl?
again, this guy's
This guy, he's coming back for the kids' tacos.
and expired
Oh my
coupons.
God.
He's got expired coupons, and he's just here we go.
All right.
HVG.
Well, I love it. Yeah, some of our top fives, we have no repeats,
Yeah.
no carryovers. This one, we got a lot of
We
the
got a
same,
lot.
which I think makes sense. So my number three is Chick-fil-A. It's one of my go-tos, especially the day after a drunken night. They have awesome breakfast. The old Chick-fil-A biscuit and hash browns has been a lifesaver for me on numerous occasions. And of course, their regular chicken sandwich, waffle fries, and vanilla shake is a classic for me. Number two, Pat, you are dead on, buddy. Arby's. I freaking love that place.
Wow.
Especially it's one of my all-time favorites. I don't get it much around here, like around home, but when I'm traveling, it's usually one of the first restaurants I look for at the next stop when it's time to eat. I love the giant roast beef sandwich, some curly fries, and I remember in college that you guys probably remember this, but they used to have the 5 for $5, so 5 roast beef sandwiches for $5. Oh my God!
Don't tell
As
me
a
you ate all
college kid,
five.
I did usually, but not in one sitting. Like I would, as a college kid, you eat 3 and save 2, you throw 2 in the refrigerator, eat them the next day or whatever. So that's living on a budget, man. That's what you do. And then that's my number 2. Yeah, we won't get to my number 1 yet. All right, Pat, what do you have for number 1?
Chipotle, gotta be everything about it. It
So
does. You got to hit it at the right times, because if you get there and the line is out the door, it's never a good thing.
Mobile apps.
But yeah, no, I don't know how to work mobile apps, and that seems like a lot of work to figure out. So I'll just do it the old-fashioned way, and I can watch them make it there. And but the good things to try at Chipotle, their quesadillas are fantastic. Chips and guac, obviously great. I like, every once in a while you get the chips and guac where there's a lot of, they must have used too much grease to cook the chips, and you get them a little soggier. Or the person who did it was it was their first day and they put too much lime and salt in, and you just get a chip and you're just like, that's the saltiest, best chip I've ever had in my life. But yeah, Chipotle's good.
Yeah. My number 1, I know the Biermans have it out there because we ate at one when I was there, but is Mod Pizza. I don't know if they're in Minneapolis, Pat, but I just love the variety you can get there. The price point is right. They have great salads if you're not feeling like a pizza. We've mentioned Mike's Hot Honey. That's fantastic on a Mod Pizza. I love the buffalo sauce is what I usually do on mine, but Mod Pizza is absolutely delicious. And again, the app is money. I'm sitting there waiting for Will to get out of soccer I just fire that thing up. He gets the Matty every single time. Boom. And we drive over there, pick that thing up. He has it polished before we get home. I mean, it's
Love
just, yeah, perfect. So that's my number one.
awesome.
How about
yeah,
you, Mac?
Mod is good. I'm very interested to hear Max because I really thought she was going to have Chipotle number one. So, all right, Mac. Yeah, what do you got for number one?
Dad, you clearly don't know me that well. Come on now. It's obviously Chick-fil-A. Like,
I
yeah,
forgot
there we go.
I mean,
yes, no, I knew that. I forgot you hadn't said Chick-fil-A yet. Yeah,
yeah, like Bill said earlier, like everyone likes it, except if you're Cooper, because we have to make 2 separate stops on road trips because Cooper only eats McDonald's chicken nuggets.
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A is just so good. Like you can go, you get a small fry, you can get a medium fry, you can get just the chicken nuggets, you can get like a little shake, get a cookie. Cookies are really good there. But everything about Chick-fil-A is so good.
All right, well, my number one, Pat, you and I are just so I do feel like we're very simpatico in our top
like
five.
Best friends.
Yeah, we Chipotle, it's my all-time favorite. Mackenzie said this too. I mean, I probably eat here at least 1 to 2 times per week. Sometimes lunch, sometimes dinner. We have one less than a mile from our house. Whole family loves it, so we often get it, bring it home. I'm not fancy. I'm a fairly picky eater, so I don't get all the trappings, but I do love their barbacoa, which is just a unique and kind of a spicy tasting meat there. I love their chicken, their steak too. Definitely my number one, but I will say they keep raising their prices, and that is a little concerning. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but it's
Don't move
expensive
to Seattle
to go to Chipotle. Yeah, it is time for Nailed It, guys, and the listener contest of Nailed It continues, and I am very happy to announce this week's winner, a longtime Sandman Nation member. And Bill, I know he's one of your really good friends from Minnesota. Mr. Mike Carr makes the leaderboard.
Yeah, Carr.
Congratulations.
He doesn't know yet either, right?
Mike. I don't know. He does not know.
I teased a text to him today. I said, and he has no idea, but I was like, big announcement coming tomorrow in episode 18. And so a bunch of Minnesota guys were all like, oh man, what's going on? So it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, no, dude, he freaking nailed it. He got 2 nailed it's on the 5 questions and then 1 other. So he got 5 points, which is, I think, tied for the most anyone's gotten on a nailed it for the listener challenge this season so far. So no, he did great. So now Mike makes it to our leaderboard and is eligible for the end of season Super Bowl edition, with the chance then to win the all expenses paid trip with the 3 of us. Just a reminder to all of our listeners that each week gives new opportunities. So no worries if you haven't played yet. Join this week. Submit your picks. For more information, go to our website at entertainmentsports.com. Click on the Nailed It tab, and you'll see all the relevant information, including the link to make this week's picks. All right, Bill, take it away. Let's get into it.
So you guys ready? Mackenzie, you got your pen?
Let's do it.
We're ready.
Okay. So as we all know, we got a little bit of a limited slate. We do have some bowl games. We got the NFL stuff going on. But the first question is going to be around the college football playoff. So this newly revamped 12-team playoff rolls out, kicks off on Friday. We have the 3-pack of great games on Saturday. We can't do the Friday game, which is the bet between these 2 guys, Pat and Eric, because it's before our deadline for the listeners. So Saturday, we've got SMU and Penn State. The over is 53.5. Clemson versus Texas. The over is 51.5. Tennessee versus Ohio State. The over is 46.5. The question is, what will be the most points scored among these 6 teams on Saturday? So the highest scoring point total from any of the 6 teams that play. Again, the overs were 53.5, 51.5, and 46.5. Okay, now again, not total points of the game. Pick the team and you don't have to name the team. It's just whichever team will score the most points. Okay.
Wait,
sorry. This is me really hard.
new to this. I'm picking the team or the amount of points.
No, you're just picking a score. The team that you think is going to get the most points, what do you think that score will be?
Score is going to be. Okay, got it.
Eric, if you're going to bring amateurs on this show, I mean...
I'm sorry, Pat. Who's in last place right now?
Oh! We knew we liked her. Gosh, this is a hard question. All right.
Yeah. For some of you, it probably is.
Figure it out. Okay. Are you guys ready? Mackenzie, you ready? Okay.
Yep.
3, 2, 1. Send. I love
Oh,
it.
you can't read
Mackenzie,
that.
28.
Yeah.
Mackenzie, 28. Klett, 47. Bierman, 42. And I went 35. Thinking there's going to be some low-scoring cold weather. We'll see. All right. Mackenzie went really low with 28.
Thinking
Okay, so
defense.
defense. Question number 2. Saturday also brings the 2-pack of NFL gridiron games. We got Houston at the Chiefs. That over-under is 41.5. And we have the Steelers at the Ravens, 44.5. This question is, what will be the lowest scoring output amongst those 4 teams? So we just did the highest scoring of the college side. We're going to do the lowest scoring on the NFL side. All right, you guys ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1. Send. Pat, I almost went 7 too. All right. 16 for Mackenzie. Klett, 7. Bierman, 14. And Sanders in the box with 13. You dicks.
Oh,
All
I'm
right.
loving this one. I'm loving this
All
one.
right. Question number 3. On Sunday, the 12-2 Vikes travel to the 8-6 Seattle Seahawks. Mackenzie's maybe second favorite team?
Yeah, for sure.
That's right. Yeah. In what should be a Vikes blowout, somehow they're only favored by 3 points. We already covered this. Seahawks home field advantage long gone. This team's terrible, and I hate being a Seattle Seahawks fan right now. How many yards will Sam Darnold, the future Seahawks starting QB, throw for on Sunday? Sam Darnold, how many passing yards will he have? And I believe Bierman might have given us a stat, which I should have looked up. He averages somewhere around 240 yards passing.
Yeah, exactly.
Is what Eric said earlier.
Mm-hmm.
3, 2, 1, send. I am just terrible right now. 262 for Mackenzie.
Oh, that's good.
Pat, 259. Bierman, 232. And I went 248 in the box again.
Loving it. I'm loving it.
Seattle has got no chance. All right. Question number 4. There's a couple potential blowouts in the NFL this week. I saw the Bills were favored by 14 over the Patriots. The Pack were 13.5-point faves versus the Aints. And the Falcons, led by Michael Penix Jr., 10-point faves versus the G-Men. What will be the biggest margin of victory in the NFL this week? Only counting Saturday through Monday action. Remember, so Thursday game doesn't count. What will be the largest margin of victory? It doesn't have to be between those teams I mentioned. Just in the NFL, what will be the biggest margin of victory? 3, 2, 1, set. Kenzie, 24. Pat, 35. Bierman, 24. And Sanders just in the box with 27. I hate my life right now. All right.
Sounds like it. Your negative energy
This is unbelievable.
bringing me down.
I'm sick. I'm
We went
sick.
from Bats high of food to Bills low. Nailed it.
Terrible.
How's the weather
This
like
is
in
great.
Cincinnati or Minneapolis?
Oh,
how's the weather?
You're going to
snowing.
find out soon. Don't worry. This is fantastic. Keep it going.
Question number 5. The famous Idaho Potato Bowl is Monday on the Smurf turf in Boise between the offensive juggernauts, Fresno State and Northern Illinois. The over-under is an Iowa-esque 39 points in this game. Meanwhile, there are 14 games in the NBA, so stay with me for a second here, on Monday, the 23rd. What will be the difference in total points scored in the Potato Bowl, total points, and the highest scorer in the NBA on Monday? Okay? Do you follow me on that? Take the total points of the Potato Bowl, over-under is 39, highest scoring NBA player on Monday, and then what's the difference between those two amounts? Very random question.
You're
All right,
missing
3,
out.
2, 1, send. Come. Oh, Pat, dirty dog. All right. Mackenzie, 17. Okay, I like it. It's aggressive. Bierman, 7. Pat and I both went 3.
Oh, God.
Got it.
It's crazy. Mackenzie, this was awesome.
Yes.
Thank you
so
thank
much
you for jumping in
joining
here.
us, Mac.
Thanks for having me, even though you didn't know I was coming.
Yes. Well,
That's so cool. We should do
was
this on a
awesome,
regular
so.
basis,
Yeah,
maybe
surprise
starting
guest.
next week.
Yeah.
Maybe
Well,
starting
next
next
time-
week.
It might be better if Pat wasn't here. I feel like 3 is just
Oh,
kind
It's a little awkward. A little awkward. Pat, you're busy over the holidays, right?
of. I
If only I could see Pat's expression. He looks
Did
like
you
a
guys think
mortal.
did you think the screen was frozen?
yes, we did. Hey, no, you are at 99%, dude. I'm not giving you crap anymore, dude. Your
I know.
Wi-Fi is improved.
The
But
Chanhassen
Okay,
Wi-Fi
boys.
is.
well,
right.
everyone, the time has come to put the bow on this shiny present because it is sadly time to exit Sandman Sports. As always, I would like to remind all of our loyal listeners to check us out on social media, like us, subscribe to us, and tell others about us. You can check us out on Instagram at Enter Sandman Sports, Facebook at Enter Sandman Sports, subscribe to our YouTube channel at Enter Sandman Sports, and check out our website at entersandmansports.com. Thanks, everyone. Get that Christmas shopping done. Get those presents wrapped and enjoy the bowl season as it kicks off. Take care, everyone, and have an awesome week. See ya.
Good luck, everybody.